clashed with the police. They went berserk and set fire to 3 tipper lorries and also overturned 2 police vehicles. Furthermore, workers at the plant, the thermal power plant, have been threatened by the villagers and their makeshift accommodations have been damaged. Now, the thermal power project comes under the National Power Corporation Limited. Well, basically what you see there on your television screen on the left are the tipper lorries that were set on fire by the villagers, and on the right of your television screen you can see where the police, apart from using their or wielding their lathis to control the mob, also fired in the air. Now, because of this, we're told that 2 villagers were injured. Now, the villagers are clearly protesting against the setting up of the thermal power plant here. Now, the project is being conducted or being set up by the National Power Corporation Limited. Now, apart from all this, the villagers have also threatened the workers who are involved in the construction of this thermal plant. They have actually asked them to leave their village. Furthermore, the workers' makeshift accommodations have also been damaged. In fact, massive protests have broken out in Bijapur. Villagers are opposing the construction of the Kodagi thermal power plant. The villagers squared off against cops as protests grew violent. Now, the police opened fire at the villagers, following which 2 people were injured. Well, coming back to you, Varghese. Varghese, can you tell us what exactly is happening now? Has the situation been finally brought under control?
Well, at present, the entire police battalions are in fact crowding across the small town in this particular village, and they have in fact arrested a lot of people who, especially most of the villagers who were there, and also they've lathi charged. Basically, it is the police clampdown that is happening on this particular village, and they are looking for the kingpins who in fact led to the entire riot and the setting ablaze of the 5 tipper lorries, and also they are looking at the possibility of the police are in fact looking at the possibility of evacuating those workers who had come for this particular project, Nolan. Their safety also has now become a concern for them. But the entire village and the small town has been completely covered with police presence. There has been a situation has gone quite tense, and they are trying to clamp down upon those leaders who had started the riots, Nolan.
Right, Varghese, and how many people have been injured in this particular clash?
Well, at latest report says that 2 villagers were injured and 1 policeman was injured. They've been admitted to the local government hospital for treatment. But now at present, what we are looking at is it's quite tense in the entire town. In fact, a lot of sections have been slapped upon those who've been arrested, and Section 144 is in place also in several key places. So they are entering home. What we have come to know is that they are entering these quarters where the villagers had threatened the workers who had come to work in this particular project, and they are asking the workers to move away to safe zones, Nolan.
Now, since you mentioned the workers, what's the condition of these workers? Where are they?
Most of the workers, Nolan, have in fact packed their bags and are moving away from the entire project location. Most of these workers hail from different states in the country, and they came for this particular project. Now, the problem is that most of them who come are under several contractors. So there is no one contractor who supplied workers to this place. There are several contractors who have to take the responsibility, and the police is now trying to ensure that they have a safe passage away from the place of riots, so that they don't get caught in the crossfire. The NPCL also are trying to ensure that these workers given protection as well as accommodation, Nolan.
Now, what we see here is big. In fact, it's a huge clash, nothing small. Now, considering all this, has any politician or has any minister, at least now, reacted?
Well, no, there's no reactions that has been coming in except for the police who are in fact trying to give and take order of the streets. They are in fact trying to ensure that there is order on the streets, and none of the politicians at present have reacted on this particular matter, Nolan.
Right, Varghese, I'm going to place you on hold there for a moment. You can clearly see there few injured people. Apart from that, we're also told that many of them have been taken into custody by the police after a lathi charge took place. Varghese, coming back to you, do we know how many people have been arrested? In fact, we have lost connection with my colleague Varghese. We'll try and get him back later. But as of now, you can clearly see over there the police now who have got reinforcements have almost taken control of the town. We're told that many of the villagers who created trouble have been arrested. You can see some of them there. Even the elderly ones have been taken into custody by the police. 3 tipper lorries were set on fire, 2 police jeeps were overturned. Plus the workers at the thermal plant have been threatened. We are told that their makeshift accommodations have been damaged, and most of the workers are packing bags and getting ready to leave this village, fearful of their safety. Well, Varghese, coming back to you, do we know how many villagers have been arrested so far?
Well, the numbers are at present saying quite conservative. They're saying it's 20, but there could be a possibility, since it is an ongoing operation, that several others could be also arrested. The police at present are facing a situation where there are stones being pelted at their vehicles. They've asked a lot of shops in the area to shut down, and they're trying to restore order in the streets, Nolan. And but at the same time, they are facing people pelting stones at them from several quarters, and that has also added to the complication on the ground. Some of them are throwing stones from the rooftops of their houses at the police, and at the same time several of the youth in fact are targeting the police vehicles. They've in fact damaged at least 2 police vans. The glasses have been broken, Nolan.
Now, have the police managed to find out what exactly led to this? Who instigated this particular clash?
Well, Nolan, what we know was that it was a peaceful protest that was being taken by the villagers against the thermal plant. Now, they were stopped by a group of policemen just in front of the thermal plant, and we do not know what happened between the villagers as well as the police, but eyewitnesses say that there was an argument that broke out between the police officials and the villagers, and the villagers started to, in fact, push the police, and this led to an altercation, and then the entire thing went haywire. The villagers started pelting stones at the police, and the police, which was a small force, had to in fact retreat from the place, and the villagers went ahead, and they in fact turned 2 vehicles turtle, and this in fact made the police all to retreat immediately from the area. They had to regroup and send alerts to other police battalions in the area to come to the place to their rescue, and by that time there was a riot in the place. The protesters had set fire to 3 tipper lorries that were parked outside the project site. They also tried to damage the cranes that are there, and heavy machinery also, and they also threatened the workers who were at that particular thermal plant, and they asked them to leave immediately. This was the situation that unfolded once the protest went haywire, Nolan.
Now, Varghese, we have also seen a lot of construction activity that has already taken place there. But why now? Why have the villagers woken up to this issue now?
Well, Nolan, this particular project, the villagers have been objecting to this project coming in their area. They've been saying that this thermal unit will in fact spew out a lot of smoke. Most of these thermal units generate electricity by using coal, and this would result in large-scale smoke that will be released in the area. And once the smoke is released, this could in fact lead to breathing problems. So the villagers have had a sustained campaign against the thermal units. But what happened today is the intensity at which this protest has gone, Nolan, and at the same time the clashes with the police is something that has happened, and this has made the entire peaceful protest go haywire, and it later resulted into violence as the entire villagers started gearing up to throw stones at the police personnel, and several of them got injured. Now, the small force couldn't protect the compound, and they had to withdraw. And once they had withdrawn from the place, it was the entire village, in fact, marched straight towards the project and set fire to the ground as well as to the vehicles and damaged property, Nolan.
Now we can see actually a lot of policemen simply beating up even the elderly people.
Nolan, what happened is that the initial force had to retreat and the battalion had to be sent. The battalion was in fact given the orders to ensure that there is law and order established on the streets. So what we are looking at is a police clampdown on the entire area. The entire village is under police clampdown, and caught in between are the workers. The workers are hailing from different parts of the country, and they were in for this particular union project. Now they have been caught between the devil and the deep sea, and what we know is that they've been caught in the crossfire. Removed from the project site, and the NPCL officials are trying to give them accommodation. But at present, the situation is quite tense, and the police is in fact trying to ensure that there is law and order on the streets, and also leading towards the project. But there has been several instances of stone pelting at the policemen, and there has been instances where the policemen have been hurt because of the stone pelting, Nolan.
Now, apart from the 3 tipper lorries that were set on fire, do we know if any sort of damage has occurred to the thermal power project?
Well, Nolan, it's an under-construction site, and we do not know what exactly the damage could be, but what they say is that it is possible that construction machinery could be damaged, as well as cranes that were used in the project could be damaged in the process, Nolan.
Right, Varghese, I'm going to place you on hold there for a moment. In fact, you can see the tipper lorries on fire. We also showed you how the police have been utilizing or wielding their lathis in order to take control of the streets, bring the situation back to normal. But in the bargain, a lot of elderly villagers were also caught in the crossfire. They have also been taken into custody. There you can see the fire force personnel going about their work of trying to control the blaze. We will now slip into a short break. On the other side, we will continue to track all those developments and much more.